Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. Today we're continuing on the Elliott Bay Trail, and today I have my friend Matthew here.
Hello.
So just quickly introduce yourself, who you are and what are you riding today?
Hey, I'm Matthew. I'm today riding an electric unicycle. This is the InMotion V11.
Cool. So I think just some quick questions is what kind of max speed does it have, and how does it feel riding in Seattle with it?
So this one tops out at 34 miles an hour. I don't ride it that quickly, but you know, some people do. I like riding on the bike trails. It's really nice. This feels so much better than I would say my scooter used to. So I can just float around. I don't need anything on my handlebars. I can hold stuff with my hands.
Right. No, that's awesome. How wide are those tires?
This is an 18 by 3
Okay.
tire. So it's pretty nice.
Awesome.
It's a big heavy machine, but
Cool. All right, with that, let's get rolling, and we're gonna just ride around here on the Elliott Bay Trail and probably divert our way back to South Lake Union. We'll talk a bit on the way. All right, let's go. So this is gonna be a continuation of my last video on the Elliott Bay Trail, and here we're gonna pass by the Centennial Park, Myrtle Edwards Park, and then we're gonna take the 3rd Street Bridge to South Lake Union, where we'll use some of those new bike lanes. So yeah, this is gonna be more of a chill video, and just wanted to show some of Matt's riding after all the recent filming he's done of me and my biking, so paying back the favor. But it is really neat how there's just so many more mobility options for folks getting around this city. So in terms of this part of the Elliott Bay Trail, I'd say this is definitely one of my favorites in terms of just somewhere super scenic, as you're just next to the water the whole time, and you have potential clear line of sight on Mount Rainier as well as the Space Needle. And this is sort of just west of the Olympic Sculpture Park and the Pier 62 and the main sort of tourist destinations along Seattle's waterfront. So it's just all sort of exposed to you here, especially even if you look across the water, you'll see West Seattle, the beach and all that. Though it's a bit interesting backdrop with some of the industrial sort of things around here, but all in all, definitely a really, really nice place to ride, and definitely a place I'd go more often if I lived closer to here. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please roll over the like button and subscribe. We cover local Seattle cycling content, and recently we hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you want to be part of all this, ring that bell icon too. So going along here, it's pretty straightforward. We're just gonna follow along these bike lanes, and up ahead we start to see Seattle skyline with all the different buildings there, as well as, of course, our beloved Space Needle starts to appear as well. But riding along here, if you go all the way through, you'll get to the Olympic Sculpture Park and then to the Alaskan Way, that is basically Seattle's waterfront, and it's currently going through a fairly large redesign with the sort of taking down of the Aurora viaduct and everything. So there is some designs right now around bike lanes, but they are sort of suboptimal to sort of say right now. So definitely I'm gonna put some links in the description below, and take a look and definitely give out your thoughts about how you would like to see these bike lanes end up being. This is a huge chance for us to have a voice and to really shape how people enjoy our city and tourists come in and see this downtown. So, and even for locals that have to use the Alaskan Way for a commute, such as like to West Seattle and such. So definitely give your input there and check that out, as that whole process is just going through. But this whole stretch from here to basically Olympic Sculpture Park is just sort of completely great. It's just completely out of the way. I mean, you're not gonna be doing your quickest road riding here or anything for sure. It's gonna have a lot of different people and a lot of people, especially on those nice weekends. But in terms of the views, it's really hard to match in terms of anything close to it, of just the whole urban environment plus all the scenic water views. So as we keep going along here today, as I mentioned, we're going to not go straight towards the waterfront, but we're going to use the 3rd Street bridge right here, which will be a fantastic option for us to connect north to the likes of Uptown, Queen Anne, South Lake Union, Fremont, and so forth. So Using it, it always wasn't the most friendly of places to ride on, especially in that area. But in recent years, they've actually added a lot more bike lanes, especially to the uptown area, so that you can get around. So I'll show off some of those. But yeah, we're gonna divert off here, make a right, and start heading up towards that. And here it also makes for a really nice scenic viewpoint, just for you to see now just even more of the water. And now we're looking west, closer towards that Magnolia Discovery Park area, and heading up towards the city. So basically, before I moved to the east side, I was definitely around here in South Lake Union for a good few years. So definitely, it's been really encouraging to see the changes from this whole path I'm taking. Definitely wasn't there before, and just makes it a whole lot easier for those wanting to access this whole trail and area network from, I guess, from the lower Queen Anne uptown area and South Lake Union. So riding up here now, we're going to follow along some of these new bike lanes, and a lot of these new bike lanes were added sort of in conjunction with the opening of the Climate Pledge Arena. I think it's just to make the whole area a lot more accessible and for folks to sort of be able to use a lot of those new sort of e-share things, from the scooters to the e-bikes. But yeah, so as we head down here, there is some gradient as we head up, but this whole cycle track is new, and we're gonna follow along where there's actually some bike lanes that will head us due east, and then we can use it to connect up to Queen Anne Avenue. So just being able to ride through here now, definitely you're with a lot more cars now, so pay heed, but having these new protected bike lanes definitely do help in terms of this. Previously, what I remember having to do was just sort of going up on 3rd all the way to basically Roy Street, which was fine, but it was basically without any bike lanes or anything. So now that there's basically a protected bike lane network, is fantastic and just opens this whole area up to everyone to use and access. So we're just following along here, and yeah, there's definitely some slight gradients along. You'll notice that this side with the uphill does have the protected bike lane, and the other side is just sharrows. That design, I think, is not too bad. It's fairly common, especially for these sort of roads where the speed limit isn't that high to begin with, and there's a ton of stop signs. So it's not natural for cars to have the opportunity to pass you, really. But definitely with all this green paint on the ground, that means that there is just a lot of openings and driveways along the path. And that's when it's meant to heighten cars' sense of having cyclists around. But definitely for us too, if we see the green paint, you should watch out and make sure that there's no cars that can potentially come in your way. So we're officially now on Queen Anne Avenue, heading due north, and the way that I usually like getting back to South Lake Union is going past onto Roy Street, where there are bike lanes, till you can connect down back on 5th to Mercer Street, and then away you go. But here on the right, I mentioned before in my previous videos when we first looked at these bike lanes, we have Dick's, the famous Seattle burger joint, as well as a lot of the different cinemas and amenities around here. And it's also encouraging to see now that there's like official protected bike lanes. Like a lot of times they would just sort of feature bollards or these flexible posts, but seeing at least some level of concrete barriers is fairly encouraging. It means that it's probably going to be something a lot more permanent, here to stay. So hopefully we can advocate for that a lot. Definitely with the whole Seattle downtown, at least with the past few years, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of bike lanes added in basically all the major corridors. They have indicated that there's probably going to be a slowdown in that already. But definitely, I think there's probably areas that have been added bike lanes, but they still don't have like these permanent barriers or things like that. I think there's definitely still a ton to advocate for. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. And if you do notice any new bike lanes that you want to see a video on, or you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll definitely check it out. So now with the green light, we're now riding northbound, and you'll see that big hill in front of us, very clearly big hill, and we're not riding that up today. I don't advise you ride it up too much either. It doesn't have bike lanes or anything, but that would bring you right straight to Queen Anne. But what we're doing is making this right onto Roy Street with the bike lane, and this heads us directly east towards South Lake Union, the Westlake Cycle Track, all that good stuff, getting to where you need to go. So definitely, if you haven't tried out that part of the Elliott Bay Trail, definitely go take a look and ride around, especially on a nice day. It's awesome. And yeah, as I'm enjoying this descent, I'll catch you all in the next video.